All right, well, we're back and we're jumping into session 4 of Call of Cthulhu, Amidst the Ancient Trees. So last time you guys started off where you were arriving at the artist's camp, as you found out. You took a look around, and the paintings depicted some mundane scenes of the forest, as well as some that had a striking resemblance to the dreams that you had experienced. This caused Mr. Brady to have your first bout of madness. Mr. Brady developed automania and excessive liking of solitude. And he is fighting that for the next 7 hours from that point onwards, and went running off briefly during the initial bout of madness. Chester tried to talk him down and at least managed to bridge the gap enough that Chester then was able to come to his senses and return to the group. Nora read about the dreams in a notebook that the artist had left behind. There was some signs of a scuffle, but the artists themselves were gone. They had apparently gone to the east, and there were also the trail of what was his name, the kidnappers to the north. So you headed to following the trail of the kidnappers and found your way to the actual cabin where the kidnapped victim should be. And you found within there that the one of the kidnappers that has left had gone quite mad and was shooting at you. You managed to burst into the door and uh, stop the kidnapper after hearing him shouting about the girl being gone. And well, you don't really learn much more from him, considering he has pretty much gone off the deep end and eventually passes out. You continue on then back to the east, following the trail, and you find yourself once again on the road that heads towards this dig site. You see a place where the trail splits in two, and the smaller unused trail is covered in yellow dead leaves. These leaves once again evoke the visions that you've had in your dreams. After much discussion, you decide to follow the dream path rather than going straight up to the dig site. And you walk along this path in the gradually darkening area of this forest as the trees kind of press in on you, and you find a cabin. This cabin is quite familiar. The cabin is the same one that has been seen in some of the other dreams, and you arrive at that cabin, coming up to the door at the end of the last session. And I believe Mr. Brady had failed a sanity roll upon seeing the cabin, but we decided that he had lost as much sanity as he could possibly lose due to the cabin, therefore not experiencing any additional sanity loss, quite fortunately.
Correct.
All right, this is the cabin from the paintings.
The cabin from the paintings and the dream. It is clearly an older cabin in quite dilapidated shape. It may well have been here for quite some time.
Can I check for any signs and symbols around, anything I'd recognize and tie back to the occult?
Sure. You could give me, I guess, a spot hidden check.
I would like to look for like signs that people have been around here recently.
Let's say that could also be a spot hidden, or a tracking check, I guess.
All right.
Failed.
Oof.
Wow.
Well, both of you take a good look around, and I will say that you don't particularly see any obvious signs of what either the occult in the one case, or of people coming and going in the other. There's quite a covering of leaves, and it looks like there might be some passage coming through here in terms of you being somewhat expert in this, Chester. But you can't really see anything that's specifically easily identifiable and addressable in terms of very recent events.
Should we approach the cabin, guys, or What do we want to do?
I'm gonna say the first sighting of the cabin, Brady is not looking too hot, and he's just gonna look very manic. You're gonna kind of see that he's starting to sweat again, and mannerisms are not very refined. He's starting to kind of look like not himself, for sure.
All right, seeing Mr. Brady is not looking good, Nora's going to sort of take a deep breath and sort of have her gun at the ready and sort of, well, let's get this over with then, and stride forward and sort of take up position to shove the door open.
Yeah, I'm gonna sneak up to the cabin as well, if possible, to take a peek.
Sure. If you are sneaking, give me a stealth roll.
Yeah, Chester would pull out his gun as well, and follow.
Mr. Proctor will say to the other Benjamin, shaking his head, they really didn't get the shape right, did they? The colors are all over the place.
Mr. Proctor, I don't think that quite. I don't think that has anything to do with what's going on here, though it has something to do with this cabin. I think there's more important things to worry about than the shape.
You are correct. The idea behind it is troubling. Multiple people, the same vision.
So I'm just gonna say my body, like Brady's body language, is not conducive to someone that's gonna walk up towards this cabin.
Okay, so you two, or both of you, are hanging back.
And Proctor's standing just next to him. It doesn't seem that he's necessarily aware and trying to help so much as he's just talking to him.
Well, Mr. Proctor, I don't plan on going anywhere towards that cabin, so if you plan on going with the group, I'd go now. Otherwise, you'll be hanging back with me, I'm assuming.
Is Watts going up, or is he? He grabs the camera from Watts before he heads
I would
up
have taken
and
my
start.
bag off because I'm stealthing. I'd always take the bag off for that purpose.
He gets the camera out and starts setting it up to take a picture of the cabin.
The light is not great for taking pictures, but you might be able to get one off. It is daytime, but it's pretty overcast.
Brady is just gonna find a tree to kind of lean up against and not look the direction of the cabin, but keeping an ear out just in case someone hollers.
Give me a listen.
Okay.
But I try to overcome the adverse lighting conditions with my photography expertise.
A first purpose.
Yeah. I mean, to some extent, like you're not going to prepare flash powder. It's outside. I would say that your expertise, you don't need to make a roll. Like you know enough to try and set up something that you're going to capture like some semblance of the scene. It just won't be the best picture. With Benjamin's excellent listen roll, I think our first critical one success. I think I don't know if we've had one yet.
I'm not sure.
So he actually, while he doesn't hear any sounds within the forest, he does hear farther off to the west that there is some slight sounds of thunder on the horizon. It's not anywhere nearly yet, but it's a very faint rumbling far away.
Okay. Would it be significant enough to be alarmed about?
No, basically that like you listened real good, and so you can hear that
Okay.
there might be rain at some point, though it's quite far away at this point.
Okay.
You can hear Odin beating his hammer. How do you have a skill over 75? I thought 75 was the highest we could go.
Oh, 78? Yeah,
Correct.
75 would be the highest. I guess you want to move 3 points.
Yes. Sorry about that.
Oh, and don't forget, guys, to check off when you do your skills successfully, so that you can skill up it next time. I meant to go through and check the recording for that just to see if there's anything obviously missing, but forgot to actually come back to that.
Assuming we survive.
That's
Yes.
true, with your sanity intact.
Yeah, so if everybody else is sort of hanging back or approaching, Nora's just going to sort of glance around to make sure that everybody looks ready, and if there are no objections, she's just going to try and kick this door open.
I'm just trying to peek in a window, so I'm not really looking at what you're doing.
All right, so if you're peeking in the window before she gets a chance to kick it open, then what Mr. Watts sees through the shrouded and old glass that doesn't really allow you to see much inside, you do see some faint signs of furniture on the inside, some stuff hanging from the ceiling. It looks like might be animal carcasses. And otherwise just a very dingy, poorly lit interior of an older cabin out here with no signs of people inside. But it'd be very hard to tell because it's pretty tough to see in.
Okay, as what's her name? I forget her name. Nora. Yeah, as Nora goes to kick it in, I'm gonna say at the exact time, but obviously too late. Maybe we should knock first, as she's kicked it in, not stopping her.
No, just kicks in the door or tries to.
Give me a strength.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, shit.
Kicks
Who's
in the
rolling a
door
3 next?
very angrily.
The door comes flying off the hinges.
Yeah. So it blasts inwards with a shattering crack. And the noise resounds around you, seemingly unusually loud for the fact that this area had been very much muffled with only the sounds of your feet passing through the bed of leaves. The door slams inwards, shattering and revealing the interior of this cabin. You do see, as Mr. Watts just briefly saw moments before, a dusty interior with very obviously old animal carcasses hanging from the ceiling. There is a series of pegs to one side with some kind of clothing hanging from it, as well as a table out there with some kinds of what look like potentially different kinds of supplies, like some knives and other utensils on it.
Did you say the floor was dusty?
Yes, it's somewhat dusty in the corners, but right in the center of the floor looks like it would have been potentially disturbed.
Potentially disturbed.
Alright, I'm gonna call out as I cook it, as I step in, say, "Come out with your hands up," and try and look around and see if I can see anything.
All is quiet, although I guess if you're looking for, in general, as each of you enters, you can give me a spot hidden roll as you start looking around the area, I guess.
All three of us?
Yeah, as you come in.
Okay.
All right.
Jeez.
Not really good today.
Well, so as you come in, you do look around the area a little closer. I will say that of the additional information that you find that is not particularly hidden, but is stuff that you would have picked up by the fact that you are looking around this area where you do not see anybody in it. Mr. Watts, you can see that these pieces of clothing that are hanging from pegs appear to be very old military equipment, Civil War era.
He does.
And I'll say, Mr. Galloway, you do see that the equipment, like the various utensils that are down there, look like they were at one point in time hunting equipment, like some knives and things, and some of these are spattered in blood. What exactly, why, and how fresh is hard to say. It doesn't look particularly fresh. As I said, the animals, as you can see, the carcasses hanging from the ceiling are quite old. Clearly nothing that has been used or butchered at any point recently and has aged considerably. But Nora, looking around the room, you do see an unusual faint glow coming from one corner. There's a clear area of the floor with a faint outline. Coming up, seeping through the edges of this outline of what appears to be a trap door is a very faint blue light.
I will slowly move towards it and I guess look for a way to open it.
Reaching down and around it, you can see that there's a small clasp at one edge. Heaving up on it, the door creaks upwards and leans against the wall. Looking down, you can see there is a steep stairwell, almost a ladder that goes down into a under basement.
Nora, what did you find?
There's a space below. Steps going down.
Do I notice a blue light now, or not?
Yeah, yes. Once she opens it, the blue light starts coming out more obviously through this portal.
Who was it who saw?
Like all natural, or does it sort of have a like? Does it seem like something strange, or yeah? The blue light. Is
The blue light's strange in the fact that there's any blue light coming out.
Yeah.
So
Who was it who saw the blue light? Who was it that saw the blue light on their?
I believe it was Brady. Brady saw something blue light. I'm pretty sure off in the distance, like the night before. It was.
Yeah.
I believe
And
so.
he's not,
Okay.
Yeah,
and
it
he's
was
not
with
with us
Brady.
right now, is he?
No, he's outside.
I was gonna say, Chester would kind of come to the door and let him know we found. Look to the two out there. Say, we found something in here. Looks like a lower level.
At that moment, I finished taking the picture with him in the doorway.
Perfectly recreating the dream as there's a figure in the doorway.
And it's like, because it's low quality, you can't really see me.
Yeah.
It's just like an outline.
Super
true.
spooky.
Nice. I'm going to, I guess, wave Mr. Watts over, and if you wouldn't mind taking a covering perspective, I will head down, see what I can see, and I'll start down the ladder.
Okay, and then I'll peer over your shoulder.
Heading down into the underneath area, you find a very dark area with a faint blue glow emanating from a bunch of boxes ahead of you. As your eyes slowly accustom to the dark, you realize that this is a decently sized basement below the house.
I'll come down with her if she's down safely. And I'm just going to be looking for occult signs and symbols and stuff, like to see if there's been any witch rituals and stuff happened around here which is causing any of this.
Absolutely. So you could give me an occult check, I guess, in general, when you go downstairs and you start looking around. But I will say, before you get a chance to really start looking around, geez, brutal. Sorry. When you look around, you will see that there are 6 of these boxes. They appear to be about the size of a human, a little bit larger. You could even describe them as caskets. 2 of them, the lids are closed, while the others, the lids are either ajar or are off sitting to the side of the boxes. There is a handful of other things down here. You can see that there's a few things objects sitting within these caskets, and just some other items standing along. You would notice, Mr. Watts, that there is a gun in the corner, a rifle. There is also some other miscellaneous items stored down here, like jars and boxes and things like that.
And the glow is coming from all of the caskets, or
The
just
glow is coming from all of the caskets. Each one of these glows faintly blue. The ones that are open are glowing a little bit more from the inside than they are from the out.
Can I recall anything that would cause this in the occult for casket style things?
I would say that there is Nothing that you specifically draw as like specifically glowing caskets. Of course, there is plenty of occult myth around the dead and the rising of the dead and the storage of dead bodies, etc., that you might draw upon. But I would say that is up to you to draw that connection.
So I was saying something I want to say, so I don't know if you noticed upstairs, but those uniforms look very old and Civil War-ish, and those animal carcasses were old as well. I wonder if they were from the same time, and maybe some soldiers ran away from the war and hid here, and maybe buried their compatriots here too. And I've read stories of bodies being summoned from the dead as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if the witches around here have done that, to use them as their own bodyguards, and that could be why everything's being so weird around here. And there's a gunner in the corner, by the way.
First witches and now zombies? Are you serious, man?
Well, I mean, witches can summon a lot of different things, and it's their way of staying safe, I guess. Quite remarkable.
If we survive this, remind me to introduce you to Agnes. She'd probably have a more sympathetic ear. But from my perspective, if we could just get this over with, and I'm going to start walking over and try and peer into one of the coffins with the gun ready.
All right. Looking into the casket, you find a handful of small trinkets. These look like one of them is a locket, and then another one, and then another thing that catches your eye is a few rings, as well as a necklace that is lying in this in this casket, along with some what look to be like decayed pieces of clothing that are at the edges.
Just before you continue, I'm going to yell out to Chester. Chester, we found something quite remarkable down here. I suggest you request Mr. Proctor to come down with his camera. I think you'll find this very interesting indeed.
I will relay that.
And I was in the process of like breaking it down, and I just stop hearing that and say, Mr. Brady, would you mind watching for anybody in the forest while I go into the cabin? It seems I'm needed there.
Sure, Mr. Proctor. I don't intend to go in there unless I absolutely have to, so your stuff is safe out here.
Oh, it's quite full in there already. It is very small. I'm sure you'll do just fine out here. And I start heading in with the camera.
I'll stay outside as well, like near the door to the cabin.
Are you looking at these items that you found, Nora?
Yes. Is the glow coming from the items, or does it seem to be coming from like the just interior surface of the casket?
The interior surface of the casket itself. These are strange, almost strange boxes that seem to be made of a stone that has some kind of luminescence that is coming particularly from the inner surface, although there is also a faint amount that is escaping from the outside.
Okay. I'm gonna
like in the picture I shared.
Yeah. Okay. Just checking. I'm gonna use like a pen or something to try and pick up the necklace and take a closer look at it without touching the stone or the necklace directly.
You manage to pick it up, and you find the one that's the locket, or the other one?
The other one, I guess.
The other one appears to be a simple, basic crucifix in silver that is tarnished now from obvious age and wear.
Okay, I'll sort of put it to the side and look at the locket.
Are you opening the locket?
You have to touch it. Yes.
Okay. Grabbing the locket with your hands, you open it up, and you find the decaying portrait of a beautiful young woman on one side, hand-drawn quite simply, but she's very striking. On the other side is a name engraved, and it just says Turner. You would say that this is probably also, with a rough estimate, like it falls in line with that Civil War era. This is a fairly simple piece that might have been owned by a soldier.
Well, none of this is shedding much light on anything for me. What about you?
I will peer in as well. Take a look.
Are you looking in the same one or one of the other ones?
I'll take a look in one of the other ones to be efficient.
Looking in another one, you
Hand grabs me in
find
the face.
you find a large glistening tube of some kind, tapering towards one end, about 2 feet in length.
Take it out. Inspect it a bit more.
It is metallic and sharp, but of no particular type of substance that you would be familiar with. Which dreams did you have?
Which what?
So which dreams did you have again?
I had the one where I got stabbed in the chest.
Then this is familiar to you. This is like that seems quite similar to the thing that appeared stabbing out through your chest in that dream.
Okay, I'm gonna poke it against my metal plate that I'm holding on my chest area to see if my thing would protect it.
It definitely scratches against the plate. You are concerned that the sharpness of this tip might be beyond the ability of your plate to stop.
Okay, so I'm gonna say, "Well, I found this strange looking piece here. Is it glowing or?"
It is not glowing.
I'm gonna keep it on me and say, I feel if I keep this with me, then there's gonna be less chance of my dream coming true, as somebody else can't stab me with it.
Assuming it's the only one of its kind, of course.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
I haven't seen anything like any of this before, but that hasn't stopped it from proliferating. Shall we, I dare to suggest, open one of the closed caskets?
There is one more casket that is open that you haven't looked at.
We'll both approach it together, I assume.
Have I made it down yet?
Yeah, I would say by now you make it down there and you find, well, that picture. It takes you a moment for your eyes to adjust the darkness because the blue glow is very faint.
This is all quite strange. Have you ascertained where the light is coming from?
It appears to be coming from the caskets. Some kind of
I think it's magic, but there's also the possibility with a lake nearby that it flooded the basement at one point, and there's bioluminescence. Algae has stained the wood, but I'm going to stick with the undead story. I think witches have summoned them.
Oh yes, that seems far more logical.
Absolutely, I agree.
Before we disturb the scene much more, allow me to document this for perpetuity. And he starts setting up his camera.
It is
This time,
very dark. You definitely
with flash
need
powder.
Yes. I don't know what the deal is with preparing flash powder. Let's just gloss over that for now.
I don't know. It takes a few minutes, but it wouldn't be that complicated.
Well,
Sure
for
you do.
photography.
Mr. Brady, while you stand outside, and Mr. Galloway, a very faint pattering of rain starts to fall, just very light, almost a mist.
Okay.
Does the cabin have like the roof still?
Yes, the roof is still intact. It does provide. I mean, it's a little holy, but it's for the most part keeping the weather out.
Good question.
Would they be able to notice? Is it like 10 or anything? Would it make like kind of a crackling noise more than usual, or?
Sorry, the rain?
Yeah, with the rain, would the folks inside the?
No, they
cabin?
wouldn't notice yet. It's very, very light so far. I said,
Okay,
it's
okay.
barely a drizzle. It's only starting.
I would kind of call out and say, Mr. Brady, it looks like it's starting to rain. The building here still got a bit of a roof if you want to get out of the rain.
I do have an umbrella in that bag that I left with Mr. Brady.
I guess I would have known that you had it because you had checked it prior.
And it's a
to
full
us.
size umbrella. We don't exactly have those little like mini ones in this day and age.
Um. Yeah, hearing Chester say that, I'm perfectly fine with getting wet, Chester. I appreciate you worrying about me, but I can't be bothered by that cabin right now. Unless you guys really need me, I can't come any closer.
Chester will be like, no problem. Yeah, if you're fine out there, then stay out there.
Is there any idea of what exactly the knife thing looks like that I found? The sharp metallic object. What does it look like?
It looks like essentially a long spine,
A long spine.
like as in like a porcupine's quill or something.
Oh, not
But
like
like a
a
very
human
big one.
spine.
Yeah, not like a human spine. No.
I was
Be
like,
a bit grisly,
whoa.
wouldn't
Robots.
it? Yes, no, like a porcupine quill, but a very large one made of some kind of very sharp, hard material.
Is it stabbable? Like I could wield it like a sword or a dagger kind of style?
Sure, it's basically improvised weapon. It would count for that.
Yeah, so like I wouldn't cut my hand from holding it or anything.
No, it's sharp at like the end. It's stabby, not slicey.
Okay.
So if you're looking in the final open crypt, coffin, whatever thing, you find inside a small diary lying on the that still seems somehow preserved, lying within that coffin. You also notice, looking at the third one, that each of these seems to also have a bit of a fine dust within it. It looks like almost sort of like kind of like the dirt or dust that might accumulate from something breaking down, biological things breaking down over a long period of time. I would say this is something that Mr. Watts, in his familiarity with reagents and things used in mystical processes, might find particularly interesting.
Can I scoop some up and inspect
Another
it a little bit
diary. That's worth investigating. Perhaps while you set up your camera, I will take this out into the light.
See if you find any symbols in there that are looking like what I've been drawing for you guys.
I'll let you know. And as I head upstairs, I pull out my tobacco pouch.
Alrighty, Mr. Watts, as you rub your hands over them, the fine dust sticks to your fingers in a way that's difficult to get off. It's very fine and seems to adhere very easily.
That takes it.
So are you taking a little bit of a wait while to do the photo and quickly read the diary?
Yeah, I was going to have a smoke and read the diary while he's doing his thing.
So I will say that as you're flipping through the diary, a lot of it's fallen apart. It clearly is starting to decay, but it does date from the Civil War. You find that it is the diary of one Turner, who was the head of a small group of deserters from the Civil War, from a Union detachment. They had decided that they were not up for the fight, that they didn't see any reason to join in, and they had broken off to make their way north to Canada. The descriptions in the diary are pretty normal and uneventful at first, talking about his doubts about taking part in the war and missing his dear beloved wife, and how he hopes to meet up with her in the north if the letters that he has sent get through to her. And then about their specifics of their plans to go deep into this forest and cut through it to be able to get out to the other side and across the border to Canada. Then, as you keep going, the entries become a little bit less clear. It describes dreams that had appeared to him in the night, some of the imagery that you are already familiar with. Finally, it starts getting into short entries talking about serving a master that they have encountered and that they are indebted to him. The last entry of any ability to be read says, "At last our journey is over. We fled the army to escape with our lives and make a new start in Canada, but instead we have found that which we desire on the shores of the Black Lake north of Somerset. It called us here with the promise of life everlasting. It called us here in our dreams. It exists here and yet not here at the same time. It remains trapped in a crystal prison from which it longs to be freed. It came here so many centuries ago upon a comet that broke apart and was scattered around the world. One such piece landed here, with part of the crystal that keeps it bound. If we aid it in finding the crystal and deliver it to the lake, our benefactor can destroy it, weakening the strength of the prison that binds it. One day it shall ascend to the stars, and we shall bask in its eternal gratitude and power. It is the one true God, the one true master over life and death. We go to join with it in the black waters of the lake. We go now to be made immortal by our new God, Glaaki. May your will be done. Which for now Nora has read.
I knew they were deserters.
Guess there's a big old flash down from the coming out of the trap door. As take a picture with the flash powder. Was Mr. Watts posed or in the photo, or you avoid it?
Probably head in the coffin with the booty up. I kind of took a picture of my rear end as I'm bent down looking in.
All right, Nora. So yeah, it doesn't take you too long to get to this final entry since the entries are relatively sparse in this journal. What do you do?
Little shiver of apprehension. She tucks the journal away and sort of heads back towards the more occult, knowledgeable people in the party so far. Well, apparently these dreams have been going on for quite some time, and it seems to cause madness. But if this diary is to be believed, there is some sort of entity trapped in a crystal that wants to be released.
I wonder if the dreams that we are having are not necessarily pertaining to us, but more echoes of the past. Hence why I found this metallic spiky thing. Maybe I was reliving what happened to the person in here.
Is that a common phenomenon?
Is that a common phenomenon?
I would say, I would say certainly for your occult knowledge, that it sounds very on point.
Yes, I believe I've read stories of things like this happening before. There's many different things that can happen with your dreams. One, it's look into the future, and sometimes two, it's to look into the past. Is there any kind of rituals that I might know of, a safety ritual that I could kind of perform with the powder that was there just to prepare ourselves for opening one of the unopened caskets? And also, can we listen to the caskets to see if there's any scratching?
You can certainly give me a listen roll, 100%. And then besides that, sorry, what?
The most common standard like protection thing you can do on the fly is typically a circle of salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and so you would be familiar with obviously like a circle of salt is a common one from traditional witchcraft and that sort of thing. But then otherwise, I would say you'd also be familiar with certain. I believe you said Egyptian is one of your specialties.
Yes.
Egyptian symbology that could be that it could be interpreted as runes or well, obviously hieroglyphics that would be used in warding as seen in the tombs of pharaohs.
Okay, I'll prepare that. I'll run upstairs, see if there's any salt in the kitchen. Because I don't think I definitely didn't add salt in part of my inventory unless that's part of a standard ration.
Yeah, I would think it'd be part of your standard rations would be some salt.
Okay.
But then from there, I'd also say that you do find a little bit of salt in the kitchen that is in an unused little tin. The kitchen has not been used, though, in obviously a very long time.
Yeah. So then I'll prepare something and say, I tell obviously Nora and Mr. Proctor what I'm doing, and then say I think we should. And did we hear any? Did you said I could roll something? I didn't hear. Listen. I'm not very good at listening or finding the word listen on my thing. There it is.
I guess I'd listen as well.
Sure.
I'm not going to push that.
As expected.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, you don't hear anything.
Okay, then I said, are you ready to open it?
Let's do it. And I will prop my foot on one edge of the lid as opposed to trying to push it with my bare hands and try and like shove it off.
As you place your hands on this lid to go and push it. Sorry?
Foot.
What?
It's a
Place
foot.
your foot on this lid. Okay, sure. I mean, I think you guys said you're doing it together, or just one of you. Anyway.
Do it together, I would have
Yeah.
thought.
As you guys prepare yourselves to open this lid, it seems to move back very easily, almost as if it was not nearly as heavy as you would expect it to be, or if some other force was helping it move. The lid rolls to the side, slides to the side, and a voice calls out and says, "Oh, who is it? Oh, what's going on?"
Oh, hello there. My name is Mr. Watts, and we just came across this cabin and wanted to see if everybody was okay.
Oh,
Would I not feel this was insane?
yes, this is certainly a unusual situation. A man sits up inside this casket. He
Grabbing the gun.
Would Chester
looks
hear
pretty
this
normal.
other voice?
I guess give me a listen check.
Okay.
It's all the way downstairs.
Brady can hear everything.
Nora takes 2 rapid steps backwards. Says, "Who are you? What are you doing?" Holding the gun like pointed right at him.
So yeah, certainly Chester hears this inside. I will say, of course, Mr. Brady definitely heard it because he did a listen check earlier and he was listening, and because it was definitely very astute.
Okay.
Going on down there, this man says, hold. My name is August, and well, I don't mean you no harm. You don't understand what you've come after. You come across here.
I should say not. What on earth is going on, and why are you sleeping in a casket?
How does he look?
So he looks like, I mean, obviously it's pretty dark down here. It's hard to see. He looks pretty okay. He definitely looks a bit older. He's got a bit of a paler complexion. He's dressed in rather sort of somewhat tattered older clothes that look period correct for the place that you were in, but does not otherwise seem terribly off. And he says like, I'm hold yourselves. I'm gonna get out. I can tell you about what's happening here. You just need to understand. And he starts to rise from the coffin.
Chester would
Rise
kind
up in
of
your- yeah.
Chester would kind of call down, like, "Is everything all right?"
There's a man in a coffin, and he's getting up.
As he's
August,
getting up.
I was-
Sorry, go ahead.
So we stumbled upon this. We were in search of a girl that was kidnapped, and that's like I'm just gonna like treat him as though it's normal that he was sleeping in there.
I said, kidnapped, you say? Well, Jacob's going to have to hear about this. And he reaches over and taps on the coffin just next to him. And that lid, too, slides back. And you hear another cough from inside. And another fellow says, August, what seems to be going on out there?
I'm gonna take a couple steps back towards where the ladder is, where the exit is, but not look as though I am scared shitless right now.
The man gets out. The first man, as the second is rising, and he stands before you, and he says, "It's a shock to see people out this way, but I don't know anything about a kidnapping. We don't mean any harm, and I'd love to tell you about, well, what you can do for us while you're out here. Now, why don't you all have a seat?"
Perhaps we should have this conversation upstairs rather than in this cellar. As he's like starting to go up, just climb up the ladder.
The man turns to his friend who's getting out and says, "Oh, I think we'll be quite comfortable down here. Jacob, make our friends comfortable." And Jacob starts moving quickly towards the ladder out to try and cut you off.
Nora aims at the guy who's moving and says, "Stop right there."
I continue towards the ladder, very much
Did my
wanting to get the
detection
fuck
salt
out of
do
there.
Anything? Did my circle of salt do anything?
They seem to glance down at it, noticing it as he exited it, but then was able to step across it.
Like just stepped over it or around
Yeah,
it?
stepped over it.
Oh, so like it did nothing.
Seem threatening?
He raises his hands as you point a gun at him, and he says it's like, my name is Jacob, and you just need to understand what we're doing out here. I just need you to give us a moment before you disappear. You could find yourselves in trouble real easily in this area. But he is continuing to try and make sure that he moves towards the exit before Mr. Franklin can get there.
We will most certainly be willing to discuss things, but Dust does not agree with me. I'm quite allergic. I must get to fresher air. You understand.
I'll hold up my symbol I've made of protection as well, and just like the cross, get back, like holding it up against him to see if it makes him want to move away from me.
He doesn't react to it, but he takes a step towards you, reaching out to place an arm on your shoulder to try and grab onto you, but not like super violently, just sort of like, like he's going to ease you down into a seat.
While this is going on, Chester definitely would have stepped out and said, "Mr. Brady, it seems there's a situation in the basement. We might need you."
So, Mr. Brady?
All right. I think I heard something too. I'll come to the porch, but I don't know if I can go in. I may have to wait a little longer. This place troubles me still. But
Chester
I did hear something too, so I'll just start making my way towards towards the porch, towards the door.
Chester will just nod and be like, "As long as I just want you a little closer, just in case anything happens," and I'll run over to the trap door and kind of look down to try to see what's going on just from up here.
If Mr. Proctor was not physically restrained, as soon as he saw people getting out of the casket, he's superstitious. He is noping the fuck out.
If you are really actively trying to go for it, the other fellow will try and grab you by the lapel, and he'll say, "I hear your friends up there. You bring them down, and we can talk about this like gentlemen. We have an important proposition for you that will keep you out of trouble and may even help you."
Absolutely, very interested in your proposition, but you understand the Dust. It does not agree. We don't want to be interrupting your proposition, what you wish to talk about with. He starts coughing and sneezing.
So I'll say,
you understand. It'll make talking very, very difficult.
I'll say, I think we can let Mr. Proctor go and get our friends, and perhaps you can maybe you'll explain these dreams I've been having.
All right, Nora is having none of this, so while you two are like talking, she's basically trying to pull this guy off you and aiming her gun at the other guy and like on the fucking verge of shooting.
So the other guy, Jacob, stops as you're going straight for him, and he backs off momentarily, letting Mr. Proctor go up the stairs, but he's staying close to the entranceway, and says, and then the other guy, August, says, "Please, can we calm down? Surely we can speak about this."
We will listen, but keep your distance. Enough weirdness has happened around here. I don't want any zombies in our presence. Stay back and tell us what you want to say.
Proctor is getting the fuck out of there.
Chester would offer his hand as Mr. Proctor comes up.
I have experience with this kind of thing, so perhaps you let my friend also head up, and I'll stay here, and you can explain to me what everything is, and then I can go and speak to them. I think it's not usual for my friends to experience this kind of thing. They don't read about this type of thing. I obviously do. I'm an expert in this type of thing. So I'm more than happy to listen to what you have to say.
If you think I'm leaving you down here by yourself with the pair of them, you have finally snapped. Now, you two say you have something to tell us. We would welcome any information. Start talking.
Mr. Proctor seems to like finally get a hold of himself when he's like past the ladder and hearing them talk a little bit. Take a couple deep breaths and retrieve the wire recorder. And try and record this conversation. Anything that's happening from here on out.
Alrighty. So August responds once again and says, "Well, you all seem like you're quite smart people. I'm sure you know that this is not the most normal of situations. Now, I'm going to tell you something shocking. I am well over 100 years old. This is. Have you ever dreamed of immortal life? My God can give that to you. All you need to do is hear me out, and just spend the night, and we can meet down by the shores with the rest of my group. My leader Turner, who brought us out here, he was quite right to do so. And we have found great happiness out here. Could you imagine living to the age of 100, living to the age of 200 or more? I never expect to die."
Well, I mean, imagine it's. I mean, I know that's possible. I've read of this mortal life, but comes consequences of having your loved ones die around you, outliving them.
You hear from upstairs. Do we have to sleep inside of a coffin?
You don't need to sleep in a coffin, sir, but it is much more comfortable once you have become as I. I have to say that these coffins are probably one of the most beneficial things in my rest during these long days.
I think I'm partial to the sunlight, thanks.
What is the name of your god?
So, what was the name for what?
What is the name of your god?
Ah, my God, the one, the Glaaki. It is he is a true God. I have actually met him. He is somebody who can provide for you and give you all that your heart desires.
How does he do this? Like, how do you become immortal? Like, and then I'll explain of a way that I've known it can happen.
I say like, oh, those are ridiculous myths from ancient human superstitions. Glaaki is the true God, and only being touched by his appendage can bring you the immortal life that we benefit from.
Touched by his
And you
what?
say nothing can kill you.
Well, I don't know about that, but certainly not old age. I've been living quite a few decades in his service, and been quite happy out here with the rest of the group.
Do you have females living here with you too?
We do not, unfortunately, but those pleasures of the flesh are not something of so much concern after all this time.
That's not what I was getting at. It was more so I'm looking for this 16-year-old girl that has gone missing.
A girl gone missing? Well, no, I know nothing of such a thing.
Do they seem like they're being genuine in what they're telling us?
You give me a psychology check.
I think I've got a 1 for that, so...
Oof.
Do
A
they
10, a
seem
10.
like they're totally fucking insane?
So you can also make a psychology check if you want to like really try and gauge like how off their rocker they are.
Have you tested things that can kill you? Perhaps a gunshot or... That's not far off.
He says it's like we've found ourselves in dangerous situations before, suffered some injuries, but our God has made sure that we will return to health as you see me now.
So like if you were to perhaps be shot in the head, that might kill you.
I certainly would not try and test it. Now,
I wasn't asking to test it. I was just curious. I want to learn more about this immortality that you talk of.
well, our rifles do not exactly work anymore, so we haven't exactly had occasion to test it. That one over there in the corner is many years past functioning and rusted to all hell. But out here, we have no reason to fight. We enjoy our days in the pleasant company of the one true God.
Can you breathe underwater?
The waters are home.
So what are you doing out here then?
It's the most comfortable place to rest. We can't spend all of our time there, and well, get damn well soggy if you're on the water too much.
So you say you've seen your god before. What does he look like?
He looks majestic. He fills your heart with glee.
I had a weird dream, and I'm going to explain about the dream. I say I was stabbed by something like this. How do they respond to this?
He looks kind of shifty-eyed and says, I do not know what that is. It's strange you should find such a thing sitting in this area.
So you just like we've had our discussion now. Are we free to go?
Oh no, stay down here. You can't. Just be comfortable and call your friends down.
So are we prisoners now?
Prisoners? No, I would never say such a thing. No,
Oh,
you must all gather though, so we can all speak face to face.
Are we free to go upstairs and talk them to come down?
I much prefer you get them down here directly.
Well, we've got people outside. How can I talk to them from down here? It's just not possible. We haven't invented that technology yet.
So you can yell. I'm sure they can hear. We can hear them upstairs.
Is Watts gonna patent that technology?
Probably. Find it with his Google.
Sort of shoot a look at Mr. Watts and take another step back towards the ladder. Well,
No. What do you think of this thing? I'm gonna pass you the spine.
As you're doing that, August looks over at Jacob and nods, and we're going into combat because he's gonna lunge. Hold on, let me get the thingy.
Do I get a shot off?
I'll say you're prepared to shoot. You're gonna get your plus 50 dex bonus on your initiative.
Cool.
We dead. Well, I am.
Hold on.
So that's what the climbing skill is for.
Luckily, I don't have to do any climbing.
Oh shoot! I reset this. Okay, cleared list. Let's so go ahead and do your
Oops, I accidentally clicked archaeology by mistake, my bad.
You go into a
move
wild bout of archaeologizing.
I was trying to move my sheet and it slipped. I don't see my oh, there's my token. It's a big giant one.
Where do I roll? Oh, turn tracker. Here we go.
It is kind of nice not having to worry about like roll or whatever. Just click the turn tracker. We have a general idea who's going in what order.
Nora, do you don't know you don't have your plus 50 in there, right?
Plus what? 50.
Yeah, I believe that's right. If you have a gun readied, you get plus 50 to your turn, which I guess then Chester, you are also have your gun at the ready, correct?
Yeah, I had it like pointing down the trapdoor.
I was trying to record the conversation, so probably not ready.
I would say, I guess, Chester, you're upstairs. You don't see this happen, so I guess for the first round, you're not exactly like ready.
Yeah, makes sense.
They both go at the very end of the because both of their turn trackers is 15. I don't know how to get them on this. Can I? Like, I don't have a. I don't think I have any actual thing for them. What do I do to make? Oh, here I'll use this random dude. Where the heck did this thing go? There we go. Richard Kane is the other two people. All right, so Nora, you're up first. You get to react first.
Okay, I guess I'm shooting at whichever one is like closer to the ladder.
Yeah, that's that is not August, but Jacob.
Okay.
So one second, I lost their sheet. All right, I got it. Yeah, that is success. You fire off your handgun in close quarters. You're only about 10 feet away from him. And the weapon slams into his shoulder, and you see no blood trickle forth as the bullet passes through him.
Great. I am going to move closer back towards the ladder.
You can get to the base of the ladder in this turn.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, then it is Chester. Oh no, Thomas first.
Yeah.
I managed to click you down. Thomas, you're going up next.
Okay, yeah. How much movement do I have? Could I sprint up the ladder?
You can get to the base of the ladder. I don't think you can sprint up it in this. If you're trying to sprint, I guess give me a climbing check to be able to climb really fast.
I'd be wanting to dodge them as well. I'll also shoot at the guy by the ladder as well. Same person that.
So I'd say you can shoot and get to the ladder, or you can try and get up the ladder. You can't do both.
I'll shoot and get to the ladder.
Okay.
Come on. Oops, one thing. Where the frick is my gun? There it is.
Oh, I didn't roll their. I was supposed to roll their dodge, which I didn't do. 1 second. Dodge. Well, they failed both times. So yeah, you move your way forward towards the ladder, trying to get between Jacob and the ladder to follow behind Nora, firing your weapon as you do so. The weapon slams into Jacob's shoulder or into his midsection, and he briefly doubles over before looking back up.
I'm gonna yell. Help!
I will say at this point, in terms of how he's taken the 2 shots, both you and Nora give me sanity checks.
So it's completely normal to me.
Thomas, you lose 1 sanity, and give me a 1d8, Nora.
How many have you lost today, Nora?
I think that puts me at 7.
No, that according to my list puts you at 11.
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay.
Which is your 5th. You have about
Yes,
a
it
minute.
is.
Whereas, yes, Thomas, you only lose 1.
Sure. That's 3 in
So
total.
before we move on, I will roll our bout of madness.
Just as we're about to escape, had to go mad.
Oh yeah.
There are benefits to being a coward.
I am one too. We lost
Mr.
Yes.
Chris.
Oh no.
Still in roll 20.
What? I lost the.
Now he's showing offline for me.
Yeah.
Maybe his internet cut out.
Significant person. Suddenly a feeling takes hold over you, Nora. You must know what is Agnes? You must know where Agnes is. You must find her. Whatever is happening here must be connected to her safety. Surely there's something that you can do to help her. And you feel a burning desire to get out of here as fast as possible.
Useful.
Yeah, I mean that sounds pretty good right now.
Could have been worse.
This lasts for 6 rounds. That is uncontrollable. All you will do is essentially attempt to flee to find your way to Agnes, and stop anybody who gets in your way. All right, Chester.
So I've heard 2 guns fire. Right?
And a yelp of help.
Okay. Sorry, 1 second.
I would say you can see the one that has been hit, like the edge of the one that has been hit, but you can't quite make them out quite very clearly from the top.
Yeah, yeah, I was gonna ask. They're both at the base, so I can see all 3 of them. I can see Nora, Thomas, and the one that's been shot twice.
So Jacob is just out of frame for where you're standing.
Okay.
You can see that you had heard them fire their guns, and they appeared at the bottom of the stairway, the ladder.
Okay. Well, I'll say, y'all okay? Come on, and I'll just ready to fire if I see one of the other 2.
Sure.
Anyone that I don't recognize, because I don't know what those 2 look like.
Yeah. Mr. Proctor.
He is not strong whatsoever, and I don't know that he's the most thoughtful. So he's whipping out that shotgun and taking up a stance at the trap door, also aiming down, taking the turn to aim at anybody who is not our buddies trying to climb up.
Okay.
And that's it.
Mr. Brady, you're outside. Guns are firing.
So
Yeah, when did you drop?
I think I dropped. I don't know though. I was able to get back on pretty quick, so that was weird.
We shot him
Yeah,
twice.
basically Nora is having a bout of madness right now, although it's only just started, so
Okay.
you don't know that yet.
Okay. Yeah, I did miss that then. Not on for Brady, but seeing that everyone's already kind of like made actions to I'm just gonna ready my gun. I'm gonna kind of assist. I guess I'm gonna go up to Mr. Proctor, and I'm gonna kind of put my left hand on his back and just assist him and helping him if anybody comes up that's not one of the group, or if a group member comes up the ladder to assist there. I'm just gonna kind of be support. If I can, I don't know, because I guess I would be outside the door, so I guess I would have to use some movement to get inside and then to ready my gun.
Yeah, it's a small space. You're just outside. I can say you can get in there and do that.
Okay.
All right, it's their turn. Jacob first, being the closest, reaches towards Nora to try and grab her and pull her bodily back into the room. This will be a brawl versus your brawl or like dodge.
Would he?
I believe in this case, dodge is. No, dodge you is the one that's like a better chance. That like dodge you just need to match him to beat him. Brawl you need to beat him to beat him. Well, let's see what he rolls.
Would he have gotten close enough for me to see?
Yes, as he's coming in to do that, I will allow both of you to fire, but knowing that you might hit your friends if you fail.
Dun dun dun.
I don't think I would fire if I thought I could hit either of them. So Chester would.
I fire.
Chester would wait for a better shot.
What?
Yeah, go for it. If you're firing, fire.
How close am I?
Very close. Like your shotgun is going to do serious damage to whoever it hits.
What
You're
the-
close enough that you like. I would like if it was a little bit farther, I'd say there would be like no question about you hitting your friends. But I will say in this case, if you get a really good shot off successfully, you'll be okay.
So with the aim, how do I forgot how to.
It's one round to aim.
Oh yeah, if you were aiming, you can't fire this round. It would be the next round.
So I can choose to fire now without the aim, or
I'll say you can choose right now if you fire now without the aim or not. Normally, you'd be choosing to aim, which would mean that you were not going to be able to fire this round.
oh, no, okay.
How confident is Mr. Proctor?
I did say I was aiming, so I guess that X's me out for shooting as well. But guns are shooting. He is definitely not thinking tactically necessarily.
Okay, well, if neither of you are firing, then Jacob reaches Nora and grabs her and throws her back into the room bodily as she reaches for the ladder, and you can hear her cry out briefly. August attempts to do the same to Mr. Watts. So, Mr. Watts, you can try and dodge, in which case you need to meet his level of success, or. All right, yeah. So you beat him. He comes on in and tries to grab you and grab onto your shirt, but you pull away at the last moment, just ducking underneath his arms as he stumbles forward.
I will question if Jacob did grab Nora and threw her back in, would he now not be standing there with no chance of our friends up top not hitting us?
They could hit you.
Oh, me.
You guys are like crowded into a little
Right,
base,
yeah.
like a stairway, like they're looking down into like a hole.
I'm a slippery eel.
It's a good question though. All right,
So
Nora.
I evaded him, right?
Yes, you evaded him. Nora is in the midst of a bout of badness. I believe in this situation, though, because it's in the middle of combat, I will give you back control and you choose how you play out your madness as you are trying to get to your aunt. Or aunt, sister? Aunt.
Cousin.
Cousin. Jeez.
Uh,
Get it straight.
Yeah, I think Nora would just be kind of screaming frantically and trying to like force her way past these guys. And as he like grabbed her and shoved her back, she would. I'm gonna shoot him. What, 3 times?
Yeah, you can unload. I think you take a penalty die on a single penalty die on both of them.
Damn. Oh yeah. I rolled really well, and then I got a 9, a 7, and a 9, so I failed all 3.
Oof, brutal. You pull your weapon out, firing wildly at the two of them. The bullets ricocheting around the room. What was? Oh, so those are just the. Yeah. Okay. Yes, your bullets ricochet around the room wildly as you fire them. You had been thrown out of the melee range of Jacob initially, as he's trying to deal with Mr. Watts by the door. So you were not in a position that he can react and try and attack you back and stop you and like kick your gun out of your hand. Fortunately, you can choose to get back to your feet and try and push past them, but you'll basically only be able to get up next to them. Which I would guess you probably do because you're doing it.
I
Yeah,
have a
Crazy
quick
shoot.
question.
Run forward.
Shoot.
So, for us fighting other people, it's just versus our skill check, but people fighting us, we get the chance to use our dodge or fight back.
So it works both ways. Yes, they can. So if it's ranged combat, then they must dodge. It's the only thing you can do in ranged combat. But then in hand-to-hand combat or martial actions like trying to grapple somebody, then it is the brawl versus the brawl or the dodge. Or if the ranged combat is in close quarters, that you are like literally up next to the person can try and knock the gun out of your hand. So basically the thing is that in terms of the way they play the game out, they say that enemies always try and fight back if possible, basically because it helps the game pace. That chances are the enemies that you're up against, with some exceptions. If it really makes sense that the enemy wants to try and dodge and is not going to try and attack you, then sure. But like in most cases, they will simply try and fight back, which means it's more likely for you to hit them than if they dodge.
And so if, like in the case of these, they all were over 75, so they missed no matter what.
Yes. In this case, she rolled a 90, a 70, and a 90. So it was, a whole bunch of, yeah, exactly. I didn't bother rolling anything else because she had failed.
Just wanted to clarify.
I
Yeah,
actually
I will
almost
roll.
rolled a malfunction. I rolled a 99.
Oh, geez.
Oh no, it was a set. It was at 89. Okay, still.
Well, close. Yeah, because you have to roll 100 for your malfunction. It would have been very, very fitting. Okay, Mr. Watts, you are at the base of this ladder.
All right. I was just gonna ask. So her first shot doesn't hit. It's all a penalty to all of the shots.
Sorry, what was that?
Her first shot doesn't hit. It's a penalty to all of the shots.
Yeah. So if you're firing quickly, you generally take a penalty across your shots.
Cool. Shame because you got.
I'm double checking that. I just can't find the place for it in here.
No worries. Can I try and?
It says right in the thing.
Hmm?
Oh, it actually says in the thing Emily did. If firing more than one shot per round, all rolls are made with one penalty die.
Yeah. And let's say, hey, why are you fighting? I'm interested in this immortality thing. Just let my friend leave. She's obviously scared right now.
The fellow says back to you to that and says, it's like, oh, you'll all be interested in immortality. You don't have much say in it at this point.
As in his mid speech, that I'm just going to shoot at him.
All right, so this is at point blank range. Go ahead and make your shoot, but he is going to try and fight back and stop you.
Oh, the guy who spoke to me was right next to me, wasn't the one further away. Okay.
Okay. If you're fine, they were both basically right there. They both came into.
Oh
the
no,
green.
it's whoever spoke back to me. I just wanted to shoot him in the face if I wasn't happy.
Okay. Well, yeah. So is August, who's also close to you, and yes, so it's point blank.
Okay, so I will shoot. Pow. And fail.
Oh, you get a bonus die for point blank.
Oh, so I just click bonus?
Yeah.
Can I,
So
can I
basically,
even...
oh well, what are you shooting with? Yeah, you're firing with as long as it's not like a long gun or something,
No, it's a
you get a
pistol.
bonus die. So yeah, you can roll a d10 or d100. That is a success. That is a 33. So he is going to try and stop you.
What does he have to roll to beat me?
Fighting. He does not. He totally fails. He tries to slap the gun out of your hand and instead just leans forward into the blast as you fire off straight into his face. And you see it blow off a side of his head. And there is rotting, molding like viscera below the skin, but it doesn't seem to actually bleed.
Now, do I try and escape up the ladder, seeing that Nora is still down here? Because she...
Yes, I will say you can get up the ladder now.
No, but I'm like, do I do this? Because she clearly stayed down with me when I tried to get her out, so I feel compelled to return the favor now. I would say, just get back, get back! And then perhaps say something in Egyptian to ward him off with my one language. Get it wrong completely.
You cry out in Egyptian as far as you know how to, ancient Egyptian as far as you know how to say it. You're like cat over table thing, hieroglyphics.
Yeah, that's what I do.
No, more seriously, we shouldn't get too ridiculous. Yes, you cry out in warding as you blast this one in the face. The other two people above, though, of course, still do not have a great shot because you're at the bottom of this. You're at the bottom of this, and Nora is right behind. Chester. Sorry. Anything else you want to do?
I want to get to Nora so I can try and offer some kind of...
She's basically like they're right, but like, she's on the other side of them, and they're between her and you, like crowded in. Like you're in a pretty tight confined space.
Considering I just shot one in the face, I'm going to back away a bit, see if they kind of come towards me and try
So, yeah,
to
you
create more
put your
space.
back straight against the wall next to the ladder to make as much space as possible.
Yeah, that's it. And we go.
I'll say that gives you the position then, Chester, and since you are, and so I guess not Mr. Proctor, since you said you were aiming, but Chester, if you want to fire your shot off.
Okay. Yes.
We both aimed, I thought.
Did you? Oh no, I think he said he was holding his action.
Yeah, I was holding, and I asked if I could shoot, but he said that there was a possibility of hitting friends.
Gotcha.
I didn't.
The phrasing. That's why I said those. If you didn't quite understand that distinction, if you want to say that what you were doing was holding your action, you can do that.
I was definitely aiming.
Okay. I feel like that's kind of in character. You're just like, okay, let's get our setup here, and we're gonna wait to get the shot. Perfect.
Can I spend luck on?
Yeah,
firing?
I believe you
So, yeah,
can. Yeah, sure.
I will
Yeah, I think
spend.
it's just like insanity and stuff that you can't.
What's that? 3
You
luck.
can't, I think, on dodges. I'm gonna double check, as I found a cheat sheet here or something.
I think I spent luck on a. I think that's what I spent my luck on before was firing.
Yes, okay, no, that is fine. You can't spend luck on luck rolls, damage rolls, and sanity rolls, but attack rolls you can.
Yeah, so I'll spend 3 luck to get that down to a 35.
Sure. So you fire off, hitting August, who had come forward to try and attack Mr. Watts when he fired at him. The weapon firing straight down into the side of his body. He still stands and looks up at you. And give me a sanity roll. I guess both of you. You're both looking down there.
Okay. After I fire, I'll just say to them, "Come on, let's get out of here." And then realize.
Yeah, Mr.
that...
Proctor as well. I'd say you can see, since you're aiming, you can see this. All right, Chester. So Mr. Proctor, you lose 1. Chester, roll 1d8.
Ouch.
Ooh.
That's a bout of madness. All right, 1 second.
Things are falling apart.
I think that's 9 for today, but 8 and 1. That's
Yes, 8 and 1 does it. That's a temporary insanity.
yeah. Seeing a man with half his face blown off would definitely be off-putting.
Oh, geez. All right. Who is your significant person again?
I think I had it as my brother.
Right. Yes. Okay. So, you for one round, you are obsessed with the fact that your brother is has taken the fall for you. That's right. He's still in prison, correct?
Yes.
You believe now, though, that that secretly he harbors a grudge. He doesn't. He didn't actually take the fall for you willingly, and he blames you for his incarceration. He's obsessed with it, and if you don't kill him first, he'll kill you. Only for one round, literally until like the next round, and then you're okay again. You do have lingering insanity for like an hour after that, where this will haunt you. I'll say essentially, we'll just go like straight to that. Is that you are haunted by this? You are frozen for a round as this feeling strikes you in the pit of your stomach, and then for the next hour, this thought is constantly preoccupying your mind. Okay, so now it's Chester's turn. Oh, and so now it's your turn, and you lost your sanity, and so you're preoccupied, and now it's Mr. Proctor's turn.
So I imagine Chester's just like realized that, and then that thought came to him, and he's just like looking around to see if his brother's here.
Stumbles backwards, looking towards the different openings in the building. Suddenly, eyes darting left to right.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Proctor.
Double barrels, both of them. Aimed. He is, he's done with this. So aimed is a bonus die. How does double barrels with the shotgun work? Because you're just pulling the trigger, or both, or it has like an extended trigger or something.
That's a good
second
question.
Looper. You pull the trigger differently to do double barrels, I think.
It's either a longer pull or it's a pull on 2 different triggers depending on the style of shotgun. I am not a super expert at shotguns, but
yeah, I don't have one, so I don't.
I know with the over and under that I have, which is more modern, you select between the two.
Yeah. All right. What's your shotgun?
It's the 16 gauge. Like I typed in the little search thing it has here, and it didn't say anything about firing more or 1 or 2 or whatever. But under attacks, it says 1 or 2. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think though, like you firing 2 at once decreases your accuracy, I guess, and so it counts as like a firing multiple shots in a single round.
Okay.
That's a special rule somewhere. So you essentially lose your bonus die for your aim for the ability to do extra damage.
So it'd be a flat roll?
Flat roll. And then you get to do 2d6 plus 2 damage.
Yeah, it has 3 ranges, and it's the closest one.
Yes, the closest one.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Fuck.
Brutal. Jesus.
Both barrels. It's empty.
Yeah, you blow both weapons, firing them straight down into the hole, and the pellets seem to graze the side of this guy down there, but somehow he shrugs it off. You hit him. It was really an easy shot, but he seems okay as the different pellets sink into his skin, and somehow he walks away from this. And yeah, 100%, Mr. Brady outside just being like, I don't want a part of this. Speaking of which, anything else you want to do?
I am thoroughly conflicted here. He's kind of holding it together. Not the baddies aren't trying to climb up yet. Well, okay, yeah. He'll keep it together. He'll stay at the trapdoor for now. That was an action. I don't know how reloading works, but he's not gonna move. So that's his turn.
Yeah, so it takes 1 round of combat to load 2 shells into a handgun, rifle, or shotgun, allowing 1 round to exchange a clip, allowed 2 rounds to change a machine gun belt. In a round, it is possible to put 1 round in a chamber and get a shot off with 1 penalty die. Okay, Mr. Brady, you're outside.
Well, like I think my last round I came inside, I'd readied my gun
Oh,
and
you
I'd
were,
put
okay.
I'd put my hand on.
Oh, right.
Parker's back.
Sorry, you said you were standing next to him, like holding him.
Yeah, I was just gonna hold. I was gonna like just let him know that I'm here. I'm gonna assist if anything. I wasn't gonna like look directly down. Just kind of like, I'm here, but not here.
So yeah, I don't know if there's really a help action in terms of like helping him aim, but I would say that yeah, you were standing slightly back, so you did not see the people down on the bottom to have to make a sanity roll at this point.
Okay. Could I, during my my round, could I maybe skim the room if to see if there's like any rope or anything we could throw down to like maybe help pull somebody up quickly? Is there like a rope in the room?
Sure, I would say that you'd spot that there is a fairly long pole like resting along one side that was potentially used as like a spit or something like that for roasting meat.
Okay. Okay. I guess I'm gonna go over, grab it, and yell out. If we could get them to the ladder, we might be able to help pull them up with this. And I'll just kind of like lean it. I'll like either hold on to it, or if we're close to a wall, I'll kind of lean it up against to it. That way I can easily grab it if needed. But other than that, Brady doesn't intend to look down the hole. He's very much not wanting to be here.
Hearing you say that, if I might, Mr. Proctor will say back, perhaps it would be wise to grab something that could keep the trap door shut when we close it. Barely, like, he's struggling to keep it together, keep his cool.
How during all this happening, would I have enough time to both grab that pole and then assess like the top of the like, I'm assuming it's like a trapdoor style kind of door. So
Yeah.
is it like a latch that a lock would hold on? Is there like a latch on it, or is there something that could be used to like shove into a like a hook or something to keep the door shut?
There is, yeah. So there is like a round circling like hook thing that's on like what do you call it? Like a handle
Okay.
sort of thing. That yes, if you could try and jury rig something that would help hold it down, but it's not like a clear like bar type thing. You might have better success off the bat just putting something heavy on it.
Okay.
And there is a table in the room that's like a heavy stout.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll just yell. Well, since Proctor's right there, I'm just gonna say, hey, we could just use this table. We could just put stuff on top of it to weigh it down, and then I don't intend to do anything further. So I guess
All right.
stay where I'm
There-
at behind Proctor.
Just staying safe out of the line of sight on the sanity harming things down below. All right, so our friends Jacob and August are once again up. Mr. Watts, you said you stayed down there. So the Mr. August is going to try and take you and throw you back into the room as well. So he is doing a fighting check. You can try and dodge again or try and fight back. He is looking at this point pretty roughed up, of course, from being hit. You both fail, and it does, and so it cancels each other out. And basically, he goes to try and attack you, try to grab on and pull you back into the room. He initially grabs onto your shirt successfully, but as you go to duck out of the way, somehow your entire overshirt just gets ripped off, and he throws the shirt back into the room rather than you with it. Jacob is going to try and reach up and jump and grab and pull Chester. Or I suppose no, Chester pulled back. Try and pull Mr. Proctor down into it by grabbing the end of the gun barrel, despite it being hot and pointed in his direction.
How far down is this? He's like doing like a NBA 12-foot.
No, he's using his movement to like try and scale the ladder and grab you. So you can try and choose to dodge. Oh, well, that was terrible, so it doesn't really matter. Or you can choose to fight back, which now you know he failed, so I should have waited.
Yeah, dodge, I guess.
Sure.
Oh, my dodge is horrible.
Yeah.
All right.
So you nimbly jump out of the way, and he is unable to grab you as he slides back down the ladder and lands on the ground. Nora, you are up. Round 3 for your bout of badness.
Yeah, Nora is still just like screaming like a banshee and puts her gun up to the back of the closest guy's head and tries to blow his head off.
You have one more round, I think.
I have 3 more rounds.
Oh, that's right. It's not the revolver. It's
No, it's the automatic.
magazine.
So I have 7.
Okay. Well, okay. Are you go ahead? Give me some rules.
So is that advantage then at point blank or bonus, whatever?
Yes, you get a bonus die at point blank. Ooh, I think no, it's a 5. It's a 5. It's for 50.
Yeah,
Either way, it's the same. 55. All right. Pulling back on the lever, the bullet fires into the back of Jacob's head, and you see another side of his head, much like August, blow straight off, and he briefly falls to the ground before somehow standing back up and looking back towards you with one eyeball hanging out of its socket that's been blown away.
Well, he was like kind of on the ground. Do I have time to shove past him and go the fuck up the ladder? Sorry.
Yes, I will say that you can scramble up the ladder and you find yourself standing next to Mr. Proctor at the top of the ladder now.
Okay, I'll like take a knee and keep aim, and sort of be ready to either try and fire or help Mr. Watts up the ladder. I suppose actually no, I'm not that logical. I'm getting as far away as I can.
All right. Well, so at this point, you only make it to the top of the ladder with having done an action this turn, as far as the distance you can travel. Mr. Watts.
Seeing Nora running up that ladder, I'm following very closely behind her, like literally hand on her ass, pushing her up.
All right, you get to the top of the ladder. I will say you still do have an action. You could, if you have a bullet, you could turn and fire.
Yeah, I've only used 2, so I've still got 5 in my mag.
Right.
Yeah. Would it be feasible that there are any lit oil lamps around us or anything like that?
No, there was no real light lit in this area.
Is there an oil lamp nearby?
Yes.
I would like to spend my action lighting that thing and preparing to throw it down into the basement.
Sure. Yeah, I'll say that you'd have some camping supplies and stuff that allow you to light it. I think you can use your action to do so. You are now holding a lit lantern.
Okay.
It is obviously quite old and sputtering, barely able to function. It doesn't seem like this thing has been kept topped up. There was only the last dregs of old tar that are in the bottom of this lamp that has obviously not been used in quite some time.
I'd be looking to throw that down on my next turn, unless I can do that now, but that's what I'll be doing.
Yeah, I'll say you'll have to wait. All right, Mr. Chester Galloway.
So, Chester comes back to his senses now. So, he stumbles back and's like, Kenneth, and just looks around and then shakes his head and sees that everyone's up here, and then just shuts the trap door and starts to try to move the table onto it.
It's a pretty heavy table. Give me a strength.
Wait, everybody's.
I suppose, Mr. Brady, you were ready to help out with this, correct? You're muted.
Yeah, I was, but seeing that did Watts come up the ladder yet?
Yes.
Okay. I guess
Everybody's out.
Yeah, everybody's out.
No.
Okay, I guess I didn't catch that Watts came up. Yeah, then I would definitely be 100% ready to help.
Okay, well, I'll say that you don't need a strength check. I think you two together
Okay.
are strong enough that you can haul this table screeching across the groaning floorboards on top of this door that you've slammed shut.
And then Chester will just kind of let out a sigh. And then notice Mr. Watts holding the lamp and be like, oh, sorry. Looks like you were about to do something. I think we should just get out of here. And we'll head to the door and wait for everyone.
I agree. Brady will go to the door, keep it open, and then just kind of signal with his left hand for everybody to come through, and just wait until the last person gets through, and then get the hell out.
All right. Well, if we're going to wrap up the battle, if you think you've trapped them, I will give them one opportunity to break free. Break free. They you hear a noise as they slam against the door on the bottom, and the table creaks over to one side, toppling over as the door slams open. The group of you are by the edge of the exit, and you see the head of August poke up with clearly like the one eye, so clearly like the face partially destroyed as it looks towards you. Nora, obviously at this point, I will say that Nora would be over the threshold and still probably another, basically still in the battle about a madness. She's off into the woods unless one of you guys stops her in the next round. Mr. Watts, you can see from the threshold as August is looking up, and you still are holding your lantern.
Throw
The
that thing in
lantern,
his face.
the lantern spins in a graceful arc across the room, slowly going end over end as all of you watch in slow motion. It shatters against the head of August, who's poking up, and what little oil and tar left sprays all over the place, lighting on into flames. You see his form topple down, and a flame glowing from below rise up, licking at the bottom of the floorboards. You hear the crackle as the beams start to catch, as the dried leftovers of many years that have been sitting down below to catch quickly. There are no screams as the flames engulf the lower level before they start to appear more prominently on the floor above. And I would say that unless you choose to do so otherwise, you guys would be backing out of here as the place is clearly starting to go up in flames.
Hells yeah.
And we're out of combat, although you guys got to do something about Nora. She's off into the woods.
For how many more rounds though? She'll be back in a
Only
minute.
like 2 more rounds. So yeah, like she wouldn't make it too far before she comes back to herself, but you might want to try and stop her before that. If you
I'm
can.
gonna say we gotta let her calm down. Yeah, the guys downstairs tried to hold her back, and she just started shooting wildly. I don't think she's right of mind. Just same with Brady. Just let her calm down a minute. She'll come to her senses. But we should follow.
Proctor just assumes that she picked a direction to go and is going that way, so he's following, oblivious that it's like a panic attack or something.
All right. Well, I would say this is a good point for us to take a quick bathroom break before we go on.
Good.
I'd just
No,
say,
right.
I think that in Nora's like concern that Agnes is somehow involved with all of this, she would be heading for the lake, assuming that that's where everything's going.
Oh, she smart.
Great.
It would be.
I'm happy with that.
All right then.
All right, guys. 5 minutes.
BRB.
Let's do a bathroom break in. All right, great. So yes, back to it. You guys have lit this cabin on fire. It is starting to be engulfed in flames. It's not exactly going up immediately, but is clearly on its way there. And Nora is booking it towards the water that is down the path just to the northeast.
No, not that way. Not that way. And I start running after her and I say, we probably left a chest of gold up in that house, but it's going to be burned now. Because we didn't investigate the whole house.
Chester is not going to follow immediately. He's going to like get a safe distance away from the um, burning cabin, and then just kind of put his hand on a tree and kind of just gather himself for a moment after his experience.
What are the rest of y'all doing?
Like I said, Proctor's just following. He didn't. I don't think he saw like he didn't see like the panic attack or anything. So he's just assuming that's where we're going now, and he's following along. I would say after like a couple minutes of the jog or whatever, he'd start calling out, "Are you sure this is the way that we came from? I think we're going in a different direction."
She's running towards the lake. We have to stop her.
Towards the lake? We didn't come from the lake.
Exactly. That's why we have to stop her.
Mr. Brady?
Brady's definitely conflicted. He doesn't. I think Brady is probably going to, with everything going on, is probably just going to be like frozen at this point. He helped everyone through the door. They broke through the latch. There's a lot going on. Nora's headed towards the lake. There's so much going on. I feel like his mania is just going rampant. It's pretty high right now. Like Nora is probably wanting to be alone or not close to the group.
Well, you've got Chester only a short way down the path, who's stopped for a breather, and then you're just on your own. So I guess it would make sense that you might stand there and watch as the cabin starts to become engulfed, and keep a sidelong view on Chester before you might follow at a distance.
Yeah, that would probably make the most sense.
Nora, stop. This is where they wanted us to go.
I will say Nora breaks through the trees onto the beach on the side of this lake with Mr. Watts just behind. As you break out, you see that there are about 100 yards down the way what appear to be a series of 5 different figures, each one strapped to a pole facing towards the lake.
What the? How's Nora's sanity right now?
Oh, she's in the bout of madness. She can't get any more insane. I would say it's just about to wear off.
Do any of these figures look anything like a young woman with brown hair?
You're gonna have to get closer to see what they look like.
Then yeah, I think she would just be like, call out Agnes and run forward towards the figures, trying to see if she was there to rescue her.
All right. So the bout of madness ends, although you're still obsessed with Agnes, and you rush down towards them. As you get closer, it looks like these are potentially dead bodies that are strapped to poles. Each one with a spike protruding from its chest.
It's got a spike pit from the chest,
Yes.
like the one I'm.
Like the
Like
one
the one
you
I
were-
have. And they're all dead.
Well, if you want to get closer and inspect them medically, you will have to do so.
Do I recognize any of them from descriptions or otherwise?
As you get closer, you approach the first one. The first one, as you get within a few yards of it, stirs and looks up towards you with a haunted look in its eyes. And give me a sanity roll. Yeah, you are done your temporary insanity, and in your oh great, there you go. You lose 1 insanity and have another bout of madness.
Did you say to roll a medicine one?
You'll have to wait till you get closer, and when you get closer, you're gonna have to make a sanity roll.
I would say that after
Uh-oh.
a few minutes of just like gathering himself, Chester would stand up straight and kind of look around and probably see Mr. Brady behind him and say, well, Mr. Brady, I guess we should catch up with the others and just kind of try to follow their tracks.
Yeah. Mr. Proctor is at the tree line. He is not getting any closer. In fact, he reloads his shotgun.
That's a good idea. I would say quickly, Nora, as you as this person who is strapped to a pole looks towards you, you feel you. Oh, actually, no. Sorry, you're supposed to give me an intelligence check now. I keep forgetting about this. God damn it. All right. So you steel yourself briefly to the fact that this body is actually alive, and your mind cracks slightly. You feel the loss of control of your limbs. You start screaming out and crying. You fall to the ground. You bang your fists against the sands and the rocks along the shore here as your body convulses. You are in an emotional outburst or hysterics for 4 rounds.
I failed my sanity.
You give me 1d6. You lose 2 sanity.
That's 5 in total that I've lost.
Yep. All right. So you get down close to the one that Nora is speaking with, and or sorry, Nora is not speaking with, has gone up to, and it is a man who turns towards you, a young man. You see him as like somebody who is obviously a modern person who's not like the people from the Civil War that you ran into before, strapped to this pole here, looking out across the lake, looks towards you and says, "They took us in the night from our camp, walking corpses. They took us to the dig site where the others are being held. There's a boy and a man and a girl. One of us got away. The dead are trying to lift something out of a pit. They are using tools and dynamite. Something terrible is in the water. It's in us, spreading like a sickness. I can feel the burning away my soul. Kill us! Remove the spines! Please! Give me another sanity roll.
Oh no.
Good gosh.
And give me a D3. Sorry, D4.
Oops. No.
You know what that means.
Bout of sanity. That's 9 in total, right?
Bout of madness. That's 9 total. You feel this fear take over. You suddenly don't know why you're here, why you would ever press on. Why would you put yourself in such danger? You must get out of here now. You turn and look towards the tree line, and you start running from the way that you came, fleeing down the path for 3 turns.
All right.
Whenever it gets closer, Mr. Proctor's like, "What's happening, Mr. Watts? What's going on?"
No. I'm just running.
So you do have the opportunity to take over Mr. Watts again with the interactions from your fellows as to how you'd like. I mean, it's only 3 rounds. You do then have 3 hours of. I suppose this is indefinite. You are then otherwise indefinitely potentially wanting to flee, but otherwise just simply bothered by the fact that you're here and this bout of madness has struck you.
Do you rush past me into the forest, or what are you doing?
I'm just going. Yeah. I mean, there's no reason for me to stop and talk to you. I just say can't be here anymore. I don't know why we're even here. I mean, of course the Titanic hit an iceberg. What else could it have been? I'm stupid. I'm so stupid.
So
You
you
just-
flee off down the path, and if you go after him, you can certainly go after him. Otherwise, I would say Chester, soon enough you'll see Mr. Watts coming towards you.
I'll I'll just say, oh, hey, Mr. Watts. Just need to take a breather back there. Everything okay?
Might as well just go. I mean, there's no point in staying. I mean, everyone's just gonna die anyway, and there's dead people around already.
Chester would just look confused. What are you talking about? Where are the others?
Yeah, people on the beach dead, spikes in them. They just what's the point anymore? They're just gonna end up like them.
Chester, not quite knowing how to deal with this, just says, "Wait right here. Let me go check on the others."
Would I be like? Did you say I just want to leave, or is it
So
okay
you
for me
were
to wait?
straight fleeing in panic. I would say, in terms of your ongoing madness from this point forward, it's up to you to choose how you decide to play it.
Okay, so I don't have to flee as much. I'm just more reluctant to go along now.
Basically, yeah, like literally, it can range from you choose that your investigator has hit a point where they simply can't handle it anymore and definitely does want to flee if you so choose, or all the way up to you buckle down and you bury the feelings inside of you and you are fine.
I'm
Anywhere.
gonna listen to Chester. Sit down and wait, like he said to wait. Like if there's a tree stump, perhaps if not a rock, I'll sit down on, and just gonna open up my locket and look at my mum and just say, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find the strength to do this, but I don't know how. I'm just gonna start talking to myself and talking to my locket, trying to center my focus.
Alrighty. You feel yourself centering as you grab hold of this locket and use it to try and calm your nerves. So then I guess we'll cut back to Mr. Proctor as he gets to the edge of the forest and looks down and sees Nora wailing and lying prostrate, flailing about on the ground for a few moments before she manages to recover herself and look up around.
When you mean Proctor or Galloway?
Proctor.
Okay.
Yes, because Galloway's back in the forest.
Okay. Yeah. Once Watts leaves, he kind of stares after him for a little bit, looks back at the figures, and pulls out his camera, starts taking out like a scenic shot, trying to rationalize what the hell's going on
All right. From all the way back at the edge of the tree line?
from the tree line.
Okay. All right, Mr. Brady, you've seen up the path Mr. Galloway and Mr. Watts have a brief interaction, and Mr. Watts sit down, breathing and looking at his locket that he pulls out.
As I make my way up, definitely not getting there fast. But as I do make my way up, is Chester making moves to go towards the shore or out of the tree line, or is he just staying there with Mr. Watts?
I told Mr. Watts to wait, and I was gonna go check on everyone else. So
Okay, so
I
you're
headed
moving
down.
ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then, seeing Mr. Watts there, seemingly manic and just very anything but calm. I'm not even gonna ask. Brady won't even ask to know what's going on. He's gonna stop there, I think, next to Mr. Watts as well, and find something to lean up against. And he's also gonna pull out a one of his coins that he always has on him, and he's gonna just kind of look at it and kind of mess with it in his hand and just I guess he's just gonna wait there. I think he at that point in time, I think he knows something else is going on. He just doesn't want to know about it.
I'm only doing this for my dad to prove that he didn't have to die in vain on the Titanic, like all the media lies. Like, is it worth it? I mean, of course it is worth it. I'm trying to get my courage and strength back is the approach I'm trying to take, because I need to get to the bottom of what happened. So I'm more edging towards wanting to make my way back and onto the beach. Well, not beach, the shoreline of the lake.
Would you voice that as you're like trying to come to terms and going
Yeah.
back? Okay.
Yeah.
Is
I'd
it
say-
worth your? But Mr. Watts, is it worth your life and everyone else's around you in this group?
Well, I don't feel like I should even be here. I should have stayed with my father on the ship and went down with him, but as I was a young boy, I was forced to be on the lifeboats with all the other women and kids, and I should have been there with him the whole way. And for them to fabricate an iceberg was the cause of this. I really need to get to the bottom of what is going on. There is something else. If you can find the strength to, I think we can do this together as a group, all of us. But you must prepare yourself for what you might see on the shoreline. There is people nailed up onto posts. So if you don't want to see that, I suggest you stay back, but they need our help too. How many more people have to die for these lies that everyone's pushing?
Well, I think the important thing is if you're going to do it at all, you do it for yourself and not to prove anything to others. At this point, I don't know how much like searching for the girl even matters at this point. Because if our lives are in jeopardy, then hers is assuredly in the same.
I think we have a lead from what one of the guys said. He said that there was at the quarry a bunch of undead people trying to dig and lift something out. But the guy that was pinned said he was taken. There's another guy and another girl that was there, and I was a betting man. I don't know what to do because I don't bet. And I'm like, obviously looking at your coin that you're playing with.
I'm not a betting man either. I just collect coins.
Very, very nice coin. Is that a nice coin? I'm assuming it's a nice one.
It's a very nice coin. It is. I don't know if it even matters, but at this point, I think the only thing that matters is getting our group together and just getting out while we still can. So I guess we need to. I guess we have to do it.
I'm gonna reload my gun as well while I'm sitting here because I'd already fired two shots, right? So I want to reload two rounds into my mag.
All right, let's cut back over. So, Mr. Galloway, you are approaching Mr. Proctor from behind, but very briefly before we get to that, we will cut back to Miss Baker, who is coming to her senses on the shoreline of this lake.
While I was losing my mind, did I hear what he said to Mr. Watts?
You'd probably remember some of it, but not exactly the exact words.
Okay. I think the first thing that she's going to do when she sits up is reload her gun. And then she's going to roll a smoke. And as she lights it, she's going to walk over to whichever one is closest and just try and start pulling the spike out.
Execute him.
As you sit there and roll your smoke, you're close enough that you can hear the one nearest to you saying, "Kill me, kill me."
Okay, in that case, I'll go over and I'll try and shoot him, and then take the spike out.
Oh my god!
I fully endorse that. By the way, that's what I was coming back to do.
You walk over and hold your weapon up, and you see him look you in the eyes. Deep in those eyes is fear and also forgiveness. he is ready to be taken out of this life, as this spike is protruding from his chest, and clearly he is either not long to live or soon to become one of Blacky's minions. You fire your weapon, and his head goes flying back into the slamming into the pole behind him. And give me a luck roll. All right, we will continue on from here. It's cutting over to Mr. Proctor and Mr. Galloway at the tree line. You see as Miss Baker, does just what you saw. Briefly stops for a moment to roll a cigarette before seeming to turn towards the one closest, who stirs upon the pole. And she gets up and walks over and fires a single shot into the head, it ringing out across the lake. I would say, from seeing the movement, both of you give me sanity rolls.
Okay.
Both of you give me D6s.
I think I still had like the temporary insanity from before.
You would have been in your indefinite insanity, or not indefinite. Your underlying insanity for the period afterwards. Mr. Proctor, 6.
But that does put me over my 5th for the day.
So you plead the
that
5th.
does.
Because I was at 9 earlier.
Yes, you were. Okay, let's roll a couple of bouts.
We're falling apart.
Well, things are heating up.
Yeah, game over. We're all insane. We all just want to leave.
Mr. Galloway, you once again feel the specter of your brother leering over you. Surely he's somewhere nearby. He's coming to get you. You must protect yourself. This feeling washes over you that your brother could be here any time, and that his wrath will be terrible if he catches you. Then I will say, Mr. Proctor, let me roll. You suddenly are suffering herpetophobia, a fear of lizards, reptiles. Fear of reptiles. Fortunately, there are no reptiles around, but for the next few moments, you feel like there must be some reptiles around, and you're going to have to defend yourself from them at any moment. I will say this is a great place for us to stop, as just at the far end, as you see, there's an opening in the trees, just all the way down on the far end of this edge of this lake. Several men appear around the edge and yell out. You're not sure what, as the madness grips you, but there are some men coming towards you from the far end. On the other side of these people that are tied to a pole. Mr. Brady and Mr. Watts, you hear the noises from down the way as a gunshot rings out. You know not why at this point in time.
By chance, do these figures on the beach that are approaching, do they have tattoos of reptiles on their faces?
You're going to have to wait till next week to find out. Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're all
no.
dead.
I don't know. You and I have the option to run away still. Like, we could just determine that shot killed everybody, so we might as well just leave.
Find out. Oh man.
That's great.
Oh, this is getting
It's
intense.
it's tough.
Cthulhu's tearing us apart.
It's like
This is the first game so far where I haven't lost any sanity, and everyone else has.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I just feel like everything's going fine. It's all fine, and then all of a sudden, sanity takes over. Yeah,
Just-
yeah,
Downhill.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh shit! I forgot the intelligence rolls. Mr. Proctor and Mr. Galloway, give me your intelligence
Oh.
rolls.
Okay.
Shit, you might
Uh-oh.
not
Am I being worse shape?
Uh-oh.
So no, both of you completely eschew the memory from your mind of the dead body moving before Nora shot it,
Perfect.
and you can retract that sanity loss.
That is going to be a whole
Nice.
lot easier to roleplay.
Yeah, just
Oh my god!
Huh.
Let me just double check that. Yeah, so it's up to the key. That's good. Let me just I'm still a little confused about that, how that works, but like temporary sanity. Yes. There's an int roll and temporary. Okay, no. You both hit your indefinite. No, did
I did.
you hit your indefinite? Mr. Proctor did not. Okay, so yes, Mr. Galloway, you are definitely in your indefinite. So, but yeah, sorry, Mr. Proctor, you were able to. Your mind blocked out this happening, and you simply do not remember the what you thought was a dead body moving.
Perfect. You said I don't take the 6 sanity loss?
Yeah, so it says perverse that the rolls. Yeah, no, sorry. You do take the insanity loss, but you do not become insane.
Okay. I am down 13 total.
Oof.
Am I indefinitely insane? Did you say or not?
Yes. So in terms of indefinite insanity, yeah, we've got basically Mr. Watts. You hit your 9. Miss Baker hit her 12. Hit her 11. Mr. Brady obviously has long since hit his. So really, it's Mr. Proctor's got to hold this whole thing. Of course, Mr. Galloway.
Alrighty then.
One of us. One of us.
I'm starting to think that this rich kid is. I think she's kind of fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah.
we're fucked, she's definitely fucked.
yeah. Brady's already come to that conclusion.
I don't think that we're gonna be able to do anything.
No.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the bouts of madness, I mean, basically, it's like once you've had a bout of madness, and then you're into your underlying insanity period of several hours. Any more sanity lost during that period causes another bout of madness. That it could be even a single point.
So I was still in the underlying and also hit indefinite.
Yes, exactly. So hypothetically, while you were in your underlying, had you not hit indefinite, you could have done an in roll and actually been able to suppress the memory. But then once you hit your once you hit that 5th for the day, then it's like there's no blocking that memory out. You are having a bout of madness no matter what.
So the indefinite insanity is different than the bout of madness, right?
Sorry, yes. So a bout of madness happens when you either lose 5 insanity points in one go, in which case you get to do the int roll to find out whether or not you actually have the bout of madness or block out block out the memory. If you hit 1/5 of your total sanity in a single day, then you hit your indefinite insanity. In either case, after the bout of madness, like if both of them cause a bout of madness, and that the bout of madness lasts a certain number of turns, like a D10 of turns. If you guys are together, if you guys are separated, then it lasts a D10 of hours. because nobody's there to stop anything from happening, and you'll go like running off into the night or something. But then other people can intervene if they're there. Then yeah. Otherwise, once the bout of madness is over, you then have your underlying insanity, which is where I'm like, well, you can choose how you play this out. But then while the underlying insanity is active, any more sanity loss causes another bout of madness.
So right now, Chester is currently going through a bout of madness,
Yeah.
and then will be indefinitely insane.
And then we'll be indefinitely insane as well as being underlying insanity
Okay.
for a period of time.
Okay.
The indefinite insanity lasts until you guys get another opportunity to like properly rest. Like you get like out of here and you're back in town and this whole thing's over and you can have a chance to sleep. With then like basically kind of like a fuzzy sort of like I have the option, for instance, to change some of your backstory stuff. Like say, for instance, you will permanently believe that your brother has some kind of problem with you and is possibly out to kill you. You'll just be like, you won't think he somehow escaped anymore or is like suddenly around every corner, but your relationship with your brother in your mind is permanently changed going forward. Or like a phobia you developed is like permanently in place going forward. But again, it's up to you how to play that out.
Okay. There's a lot of layers to the sanity.
Yeah, honestly, it's a lot to take in. It's one of the things that, in terms of like every week when I've been prepping, I've been coming back to is basically the combat rules and the sanity mechanics. And like I'm still kind of, I forget the int roll thing, or for instance, on the temporary insanity and stuff like that.
Well, it's definitely going to be interesting going forward.
Yeah, I mean, oh, it's on a beach with a pooping kangaroo, dog. Right. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you guys heard. Well, one of you heard from one of the people tied to a pole that there is a girl and a guy who are being held up in the cabins in the dig site, and that they're doing something nefarious up there. But you're about to talk to some people who might try and convince you otherwise, forcefully or not.